Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Thursday, December 10th, 2015, around 8:24 in the evening in Belleville, Massachusetts. About like 40 degrees outside. It's dark, and tonight is supposed to go down about 35, but tomorrow supposed to be in the 50s. Another warm up, 10 degrees above average for this time of year, and more of the warm temperatures feels more like spring than late fall, which is still technically fall till December 21st. Not too much news to report, except from one little tidbit. Today, there was an unmanned train going on the red line for the MBTA, and the MBTA's investigating it. You can't have an unmanned train going in the subways, not in this day and age where you don't know if it's a terrorist attack or a prank or anything. You have to have it manned, because they don't need this. If it's a prank, it's not funny, and they don't need anything like something to do with like a thing that is a prime target. If you have an unmanned train, it could be a prime target of like terrorist or attacks or whatever. So the T's investigating it, and that's about it on the news. My third and final video blog subject tonight is my personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is about the late, great Skip Carey. Skip Carey was a sportscaster for 40 years. He's known for being the Atlanta Braves play-by-play announcer on television and the radio. Skip was born and he grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. His real name was Harry Christopher Carey Jr., and his father was the late, great Harry Carey, who was a play-by-play announcer for the St. Louis Cardinals and Chicago Cubs, who was famous for saying, "Holy cow." And Skip went to the University of Missouri, and he majored in journalism. He started his broadcasting career in the early 1960s, calling St. Louis University basketball games on the radio. Also, he went to call professional basketball for the St. Louis Hawks of the NBA when they played in St. Louis, Missouri. Then he moved to Atlanta in 1968, the same year that the Hawks moved to Atlanta, and he did Atlanta Hawks games on the radio for many years, and also he called the Atlanta Flames games on the radio. And for many years in the late 60s and early 70s, Skip did the sportscast on WSB radio in the mornings, and he was pretty good at that. He did the sports reports. And in 1976, Skip moved to call Atlanta Braves baseball games on the radio, and he had an association with the Braves for 32 years on the radio and television. He called the Braves for many years on Superstation WTBS with Pete Van Leeuwen, and he was a very good sports announcer, winning Georgia's sports announcer 6 times during his career. He was known to have a broadcasting style of witty, but he had a sarcastic sense of humor. And during the first part of his Braves broadcasting career, the Braves were one of the worst teams in baseball, and some of the stuff he said was very sarcastic of how the Braves are playing. He was getting criticized a lot about that, because you shouldn't mock your team, especially if they're playing so bad, and the Braves were like one of the worst teams during that era and stuff. And Skip continued to have his association with the Braves into 2008. He also worked for Turner Sports, calling college basketball games, calling a few college football games, the SEC, when TBS had its contract. Also, he was like the #1 play-by-play announcer for NFL football on TNT for about 2 years, 1990 and 1991. He even coached some NBA games for TBS and TNT for many years, and he called some Major League Baseball playoff games for NBC Sports in 2000, the first week of the division series for NBC, while Bob Costas was resting from working the Olympic Games in Australia and stuff. And Skip's son is Chip Carey, who is currently the Braves play-by-play announcer on Fox Sports South and Fox Sports Southeast. In the 2000s, Skip Carey's health was declining, and he didn't do too many Braves baseball games after he moved strictly to the radio when his son Chip signed calling Braves games in 2005, and in 2008 Skip passed away, and he was 68 years old. He is in the Atlanta Braves Hall of Fame, and once in a while he's a top 10 finalist for the Ford Frick Award for Broadcasting Excellence for the Baseball Hall of Fame, but he does not get voted in. But he should be getting it posthumously one of these days. And that's about it on Skip Carey, and that's about it on these video blogs. Be back tomorrow on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You will get 3 more video blogs. First video blog will be about the top 10 sports stars ever to win in number 36. Second video blog will be about the former WCW faction, the Dungeon and Doom. And third and final video blog of the night will be the personality profile about former NBA player Spud Webb. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Brennan guy. Molly Rosenblatt of WCCO Channel 4 in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Rocks and has nice legs. Elizabeth Hart, so stunning, and she has nice legs as well. Julie Donaldson of Comcast Sportsnet Mid-Atlantic's the best, and she's got nice legs as well. And in the words of Bruce Cronin, former co-worker at Hard Hank State of Technology, want to put a wager on that, Richie. Good night, and I know. Bye now.